Hello and welcome back to Simply Gregster EV. You join us today in Ottawa, Ontario at a Ford Charge site here at a Ford dealership. This is my first time using the Ford Charge network and their equipment. So we'll give you a little site tour. We'll go over it in what is a DC fast charging desert, but things are getting better. Let's get into it. So we got the Fiat here. We drove up this morning for a car meet, but this is the Ford Charge network here. This is part of their Blue Oval charging, I believe. These are all named. All the chargers are named. This is Juice. That one's called Rush. These are actually made by a company called Power Electronics for Ford. DC fast charging, I believe there's a split going on here, whether it's here it says right here. So it'll do 120 kilowatts one car or up to 60 kilowatts for two cars. So 120 kilowatt total output on the Power Electronics unit. We've used these before in Orlando, Florida, I believe. That's where we saw them before. So let's get started here. Let's see how much the prices are. So 60 cents a kilowatt hour, a bit expensive, but not horrible considering there's not much going on here. So we'll select connector A. Select a connector to start case. So we'll select that. It says RFID. It says next plug-in charge. So we'll get my phone. We will select the credit card. We'll select that. And we'll do that. Or here, credit card / mobile wallet here.
Please present your card or your mobile phone.
Okay, so we'll pay with the card. We'll get this going here. So it authorizes $50. It says approved. Please connect your vehicle. First thing we'll do is we'll get the flap open. This is a big, thick cable on here. This is absolutely huge and pathetic cable management. So we'll try to do this with one hand. Let's get that clicked in. Let's see what we have going on here. Communicating with vehicle. We are communicating with the vehicle here. Charging will begin slowly, but they have 3 chargers here, so they have 6 cables right off of Bank Street in Ottawa. Pretty good location, and for DC fast charging in Ottawa, this is actually really good. I'm really happy with this. It says it's still communicating with vehicle. Plugged in, waiting to start charge. Oh, that's weird it's doing that. I haven't had that issue before. There we go. That should get it going. Let's see if this works. Charging error. Please unplug and start again. In typical Fiat fashion, we had to unplug and replug back in, but we finally got it working. I don't think this has nothing to do with the units. This is more a Fiat thing. The Fiat's very particular with DC fast charging and sometimes level 2. So we're pulling 47.2 kilowatts right now. 356 volts, 132.8 amps. And for some reason, it's actually billing in euro because I believe this is a Spanish company, Power Electronics. So we're actually weirdly at 31 euro cents of charging right now, which I think is pretty funny. And price per kilowatt hour is 60 euro cents. So that's pretty weird. There's no dollar symbol, but we are working. We're charging up. It's going to be a bit slow. This car has a peak rate of 85 to 88 kilowatts based on my experience. We featured this car on the channel already. This is my personal car. And the battery is cold. We're about -5 outside. So we'll continue up charging here and we'll see what we get. We'll see how it goes. But initial impression, very easy to use payment terminal. Easy to plug in. Cable's really heavy, bad cable management. I don't like that. I've been really a stickler for cable management lately, but we'll see what's going on here as we continue to charge up at 29% state of charge. Fiat is charging up nicely. It looks like it's been through a massive snowstorm, but there was a bit of snow this morning, but it looks worse than it actually is. Let's have a look at the power information on here. So we are at 480 volts input rated. We have output voltage DC range, so 150 to 1000 volts VDC. Input rated current is 155 amps. We have output DC charge rating 120 kilowatts. NEMA 3R rainproof, that looks like, made in Spain. So this is a Spanish company. Nothing really crazy on here in terms of charging specs. Pretty normal actually. This is not a big site, but it's a nice site. That Mach-E is charging up on, let's go see what that equipment is actually. And it looks like there's a 4th DC charger there. We could go have a look at that. So this is the Ford power equipment over here that the Mustang is charging up on. This looks like it's 19.2 kilowatts. So we have 208 volts, 19.2 kilowatt charging here. We'll go, that's just an overview of the site. There's a Bolt that's charging up there as well. And I think there is a DC fast charger here. There's one DC fast charger up here, which I think is for dealership use only, although it does list that it is available to use, but it's blocked. It might be turned off. This might be for dealership use only, which is fine. No, this one is on too, but it's blocked up by cars. So I guess if you had to charge, you could pull in through here. There's more 19.2 kilowatt AC charging here. So not a bad site for a dealership actually. At least it's accessible. I could have one DC fast charger blocked for their own use, which is fine by me. As we walk back across the parking lot. Like I said, Ottawa's a bit of a black hole for charging, so I rather have this versus nothing. But just to have this is so important here because we come here often enough to visit family, and I'm up here for the car meets. But it's just so nice to have DC fast charging, especially if our cars, they don't charge very fast. So this is actually perfect for us. We're pulling 56 kilowatts now. I think we'll go up to a 90% state of charge here as we want to get back home. But everything's working here. Nice site over here. There's a Bolt, and we'll check back in soon. It's actually nice to see Ford as a auto manufacturer, and dealerships in general seem to be taking the EV charging side of things very seriously, and EVs in general. It's also nice that this dealership doesn't have these chargers locked up behind the gate as so many do. I believe this is a 24-hour location. There's another Ford dealer in the area where they're only available between 8 to 5:30, and then they lock the gate. But it is open on Saturdays, but it does make it quite annoying. And also, I don't understand why you would not want to have them open 24 hours. Like if they're here, people will use them, and you could make a bit of money back. I mean, I don't know what they pay here for electricity. 60 cents a kilowatt hour is a bit on the pricier side, but we are in Ontario, we're not in Quebec, but it's not outrageous. It's not outrageous. You're paying for the convenience, especially in a city like this that doesn't have a lot of DC fast charging. So from what I see in the mirror, we're actually cranked it up to 61 kilowatts. As the battery starts warming up a bit, it will start tapering off soon. We're at 52% state of charge. But yeah, it's just so nice to see manufacturers now doing their own charging thing. I'm not too sure about the power electronics equipment. It failed to charge the first time, but I think that's more of a Fiat thing. Like I said, the 500D has been very particular on how it likes to charge, on what units it likes to charge. But once we disconnected it and plugged it back in, it fired up right away. Sometimes it happens. You have to turn it off and on again, types scenario. But yeah, we're all good here. 62.6 kilowatts. Pretty impressive with the charging rate on this car, having a cold battery as well. So like I said, we'll sit here till 80-90% and then we'll take off. I think it's time to get unplugged here. We've ramped down to 12 kilowatts, so there's no point staying here. 87% state of charge, $14 charge this ended up costing. We've been here 29 minutes already, probably a bit longer than what I would want to stay, but the battery's cold and I wanted to film this site as well for a separate video. So we'll stop charging on the touch screen. It says we've done 23.34 kilowatt hours of energy. Now we'll just get unplugged and we'll get back on the road. And if you made it this far, please think about liking and subscribing. Thank you to all of our new subscribers and existing subscribers for helping grow the channel while I unlock the car to get the charge poured out. So again, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.